Um, uh, Robson, I noticed that you have varied experience, right? You have worked in marketing, product management, banking, and of course, loyalty programs. So I want to pick your brain and ask you about each of these domains, how causal methods have been applied. So let's start with marketing. Uh, what typical causal methods have you applied in marketing?
In marketing, there are a range. I'm going to start by the least robust one.
Hmm.
That is when you try to measure a campaign that is nationwide. So you
Hmm.
only operate in Brazil and you advertise on television and everybody saw it. So as you said, the bread and butter of your company is working with this tool, this
Triple M,
marketing
yeah.
assessment tool. Yes. And ours is basically having a control group to compare. So when someone
Okay.
comes out and say, hey, we launched a campaign for the whole country. So there is no control group. What should I do? Unfortunately, there are some methods that, okay, they need really rigorous hypotheses to hold for them to be able to bring causal estimates. Uh, but they are basically you apply a time series model up to the point that the campaign was launched. So you get a sense how things would continue
Hmm.
in the following days after this launch, and you can
Hmm.
predict it. So when you predict what would have happened in the absence of the campaign, you basically build a counterfactual, and you can compare it with what really happened. So
Hmm.
on one side is what would have happened. On the other side is what really happened. And supposedly the difference between those two values is going to be the incrementality that you generate by the campaign. So this is one of the applications. Uh, there are
This is very
also,
similar to DID. Of course, we'll talk more about this, but I think this is very similar to DID. I know you didn't mention the assumptions, but I know you will get to that in the future segment here.
sure. Uh, the DID also tries to create a counterfactual in a different manner. And we also use it in marketing when, for instance, some people consume the campaign that is not nationwide.
Hmm.
Like someone saw our campaign on YouTube, but somebody else that had access to YouTube didn't see our campaign. And we can measure the incrementality generated on sales on based on this guy like Venkat saw and a guy that is similar to Venkat didn't see. Uh, did this campaign really make Venkat go there to the website and buy something? So this is also one of the tools. And of course, when we can, we experiment. And it's easier to experiment in some channels more than others, like in known channels such as push, email, and so on. It's easier to experiment. But when you want to experiment in out of home, for instance, like outdoors,
Hmm.
and well, uh, the company wouldn't let us data scientists randomize in which airports we are going to put advertise because it may hurt, it may lead to less revenue that would have, I mean, so yeah, well, there is a range of tools going from some like time series that is less rigorous to others that is like we randomize who is going to receive or to have access to this campaign and measure whether those guys who received acted more on going to the website and buying something than the other guys.